You have now entered a podcast show. A podcast show that you can listen to. A podcast show that talks about movies that you have either enjoyed, disliked, or a bit of both. A podcast show that has entered a month full of surprises, dark moments, and the scariest a bunch to come in the month of October. This month, this podcast show is about to go to the dark side of movies, depending on the genre. You have just entered Codo's Cinema Horror Month. Good afternoon, and welcome to an episode of Codo's Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, the man, the horror, the legend, Mark Codo, and I bid ya welcome. Have you ever thought of how scary a movie character can be? A movie character can be so scary, it will literally give you nightmares, or memories of how scary and memorable a character can be. It doesn't matter what genre this character is from, and to conclude Codo's Cinema Horror Month, I am going to count down the top 10 scariest movie characters. That's right, folks, the top 10 scariest movie characters. So, grab some popcorn and take a seat for the characters I'm about to reveal and possibly frighten. This is Top 10 Scariest Movie Characters. Number 10. The Chernobog from Walt Disney's Fantasia. In this final segment of the beloved Disney classic, audiences are introduced to one of Disney's biggest villains, the Chernobog. Only on screen for about 5 minutes, the Chernobog is summoning the spirits of the dead for a night of terror and horror. This segment and composition, being called Night on Bald Mountain by Russian composer Modest Mussorgsky, brings in the suspense and terror for this devilish demon. And I'm just saying this, believe it or not, there are certain ways to tell how scary a villain can be by the music, because music can really bring in the shock, terror, and suspense and horror to this scary character like the Chernobog. And towards the end of the segment, the Chernobog is still summoning his demons, only to be stopped by the church bells and sunlight of dawn, scaring the Chernobog and his demons back to their graves. I know it's not long, but definitely scary at the same time. In fact, the Chernobog is loosely based off of Chernobog, but with an O. It is Slavic for black god. And whether you have seen Fantasia or not, the Chernobog is definitely one of Disney's scariest villains. Moving on. Number 9. The Prowler from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You guys can agree with me or disagree with me, but the music does bring in the scariness to make a character pretty scary. And the Prowler is another example. In this Oscar-winning film, the Prowler is considered to be one of Spider-Man's greatest nemesis. After Miles Morales witnesses a death scene of Spider-Man from the Kingpin sends Prowler out to chase Miles from a failed experiment, and, of course, trespassing. Now, you guys might be thinking, true, the Prowler's not even that scary. Okay, yes, I agree, he's not that scary, but if you really think about it, and if you have seen this movie, the costume alone for the Prowler is intimidating, especially the cape and the sharp gauntlet that he has got. But what really stands out is the music by Daniel Pemberton. That really makes this entry. Daniel Pemberton's music for the Prowler theme sounds like he's using an electric elephant sound effect for this amazing pop and rock music that he's adding in, especially when he's adding in some of the pop and rock horror-like elements in the Prowler's character. And in general, I believe that's what makes the Prowler so scary in this film. Especially the scene where Prowler goes back to his apartment in the search for the Spider-Man kid. Actually, he doesn't even know that it was Miles Morales who is in the apartment, only for the Prowler to show his face as Aaron Davis, the uncle to Miles Morales. Miles Morales has been revealed, and the music only brings in the scariness of the Prowler. trust me, folks. The music in this film for the Prowler definitely gets me on my nerves for a jump scare. Moving forward, number 8, Emperor Palpatine, the Star Wars franchise. Yep, you can't have a scary character without mentioning the Dark Lord of the Sith, or should I say, Emperor Palpatine. And when you cast Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor, it's definitely another step forward to know how scary a Star Wars villain can be. The Emperor was once a Chancellor of the Republic named Chancellor Palpatine. However, he turned to the dark side of the Force as Darth Sidious for the rise of the Galactic Empire. The reason why? Well, let me quote this. The dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Appearing in almost every Star Wars film, the Emperor knows how to bring in the dark side of the Force to many people, especially the Jedi. Even his presence can be felt throughout the entire galaxy, even in the films as well. I mean, true, yeah, I know Episode 9, they kind of did shoehorn him in at the last minute, but still pretty scary, though. With his pale skin, yellow eyes, and lightning fingers, especially his evil laugh. I tried. You can bet your space pumpkins or lightsabers that the Emperor can give you nightmares anytime. And be careful not to join the dark side. So be it, Jedi. Next number. Number 7. Pennywise the Clown from It. Hiya, Georgie. Aren't you gonna say hello? Okay, this really depends on which version of Pennywise that I should probably mention. Either the 1991 made-for-TV film with Tim Curry or the 2017 and 2019 remake with Bill Skarsgård. Well, it doesn't matter because both of these clowns are equally scary. True. Tim Curry's take on Pennywise the Clown is definitely scary, but he feels more silly than scary, but he's able to balance that out. But I believe that's what makes... I got a feeling that's what makes the 1991 made-for-TV film memorable, because of Tim Curry's performance as Pennywise the Clown. I mean, he's definitely scary. I mean, true. I mean, hey, sometimes clowns can be scary. The 2017 remake starring Bill Skarsgård brings in the scariness to the next level. And my goodness, I can tell how scary Pennywise is in this remake. Sometimes even the remakes can get it right. At times. Not always, but I feel like this one did. Whether it's giving Georgie the boat, giving people red balloons, or appearing out of nowhere, Pennywise the Dancing Clown brings in a good example of how scary clowns can be. On the plus side, though, the Losers Club are always here to stop Pennywise from scaring people, even if they get older. Next number. Number 6. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. Well, another Disney villain makes the list. This time, it is one of Disney's greatest villains. Maleficent crashes the party for not having an invitation, only to give the baby princess, Aurora, a gift. So, you're probably wondering what's the gift exactly that Maleficent gives to Aurora? Well, I'm pretty sure it's obvious, but let me quote it out. Before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on a spindle of a spinning wheel and die. Yep, and I'm pretty sure that's the thing right there. I mean, that quote alone definitely sums up how scary she can be, and I'm referring to Maleficent. In the 1959 original, we never knew how Maleficent was evil, which definitely makes it a mystery. But I get a feeling that is how great and scary Maleficent is. Like, even her look and design is scary. She looks like the devil a little bit. But I mean, with the horns, yeah. I mean, but not really. Plus, she was once a fairy, turned evil. Yeah. And with a staff in her hand, I mean, that definitely makes it scary. Like I said, her look does it too. Also, you have the voice actress of Eleanor Audrey, who plays the villain in Sleeping Beauty of Maleficent. In fact, Eleanor Audrey also played another Disney villain, the evil stepmother in Cinderella. That's definitely two different villains that make it scary. But it's Maleficent that makes it on the list, to be fair. And man, that's like almost 10. That's like almost a 10-year gap between Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. Even the live action remake with Angelina Jolie goes in a different direction, telling Maleficent's side of the story, knowing how she became evil. And on top of that, her demonic look, evil laugh, and shape-shifting transformation into a dragon isn't scary enough, then the Mistress of Evil will definitely get you on your nerves. Okay, going to number 5. Number 5, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Here comes Freddy, folks. One of the most iconic characters is on this list, folks. Freddy Krueger is easily one of the greatest horror characters of all time, especially with the film's title, and its sequels as well. Which is Nightmare on Elm Street. And to describe who Freddy Krueger is a spirit serial killer who has a glove with razor-sharp knives for fingers to kill his victims in their dreams, causing real-world deaths. And in the dream world, he is a powerful force and almost completely invulnerable. However, when Freddy is pulled into the real world, he still has the full normal human abilities, and he can easily be destroyed. Appearing in the first Nightmare on Elm Street film, directed by Wes Craven, was the first time, and he is as iconic as he can ever be. Actor Robert Englund has played the character since 1984. Whether Freddy is doing blowhole beds, wet dreams, dinner dreams like Bon Appetit, Puppet Master dreams, comic book dreams, or a video game dream, you might as well stay awake, just so Freddy doesn't come after you in your sleep. Even his laugh is definitely silly and scary at the same time during each of these kills. Or how about going up against Jason Voorhees in a crossover? I got a feeling that is awesome. Or how about a DLC playable character in Mortal Kombat? And actually, that is true. There is an actual DLC playable character in Mortal Kombat, Freddy Krueger. So you can use Freddy Krueger in Mortal Kombat. Just make sure Freddy Krueger doesn't beat your high score in a video game. Look at that. I beat my high score. Moving forward. Number 4, Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We're going to Toontown, folks, because Roger Rabbit is somehow being framed. Who is he being accused by? Well, let's enter the judge, jury, and executioner himself, Judge Doom, the mastermind behind it all, because his motivation is to, you guess it, wipe out Toontown with his weapon known as the Dip. FYI, he gets defeated by the Dip. The reason why Judge Doom is doing it? Well, because he wants to build a freeway in Toontown, which is one of the few reasons why he is after Roger Rabbit. Christopher Lloyd plays the villain in perfection, and his costume alone looks very similar to Major Arnold Toth from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. While his live-action appearance may seem scary enough, it's the final moments of the film that takes this spot. And it's his reveal, actually. After being crushed by a steamroller, Judge Doom turns out to be a tomb himself. Yep, that is right, he turns out to be a tomb himself because he uses the helium to blow himself up as his eyes pop out, only to be revealed to have eyes for red cartoon daggers, scaring the audience and Eddie to a point. And to think, Tim Curry was going to play Judge Doom, but was replaced due to his audition being scary. I'm gonna guess the producers kind of screwed up a little here because I think both versions are definitely scary. Next number 3, The Wicked Witch of the West, from The Wizard of Oz. Taking the number 3 spot on this list is what is considered to be one of the scariest villains in all of cinema, and in one of the greatest movies of all time. which is the Wicked Witch of the West, played to perfection by Margaret Hamilton. The Wicked Witch knows how to crash a party by a simple red dust and fire entrance, including an army of flying monkeys, an army of soldiers, etc. I mean, she brings in, and when I mean she, I'm talking about the Wicked Witch of the West. She knows how to interrupt things, and I'm pretty sure that's how evil she is. And how about her evil laugh? I mean, yeah, exactly. Or her liners like, "I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too." Now, how about this quote? "Now fly, 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 my pretties." I don't know if she actually said that other line, but yeah, the first one, yeah. And if you are really desperate, "I'll get you, Auntie Anne, my pretty." or this, "I'm melting, melting. Oh, what a world." Some of the few quotes and one-liners, though. The Wicked Witch of the West is easily a character you do not want to mess with. Whether it's stealing the ruby slippers, following the yellow brick road, or trying to get to the Emerald City, the Wicked Witch of the West flies by on her broomstick and tries to stop Dorothy and her friends to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Hey, when in doubt, just make sure to have a bucket of water to splash the Wicked Witch on. That's one way to defeat her. Number 2. The Joker from The Dark Knight. One scary clown to another, we hit the number 2 spot, which is considered to be the best portrayal of the Joker since Jack Nicholson's take in 1989's Batman. The Joker in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight brings in the fear, terror, and often funny take to the clown prince of crime. In the opening sequence alone of The Dark Knight, audiences are introduced to the Joker in a mysterious way as he goes with his minions to a bank heist without revealing his face until he became the last clown standing in the bank. With his smart tactics, plans, weapons, one-liners, let's put a smile on that face. The Joker can literally give Batman a run for his money. Why so serious? Heath Ledger's Oscar-winning performance as the clown prince of crime is a great portrayal as he takes the inspiration from Jack Nicholson's Joker, Cesar Romero's Joker, and, of course, the comic book versions of the Joker as well. Pennywise the Clown may be one of the scariest clowns, but Heath Ledger's Joker takes the scariness to the next level in a comic book style. I'm a man of my words. Alright, and now, I know what you guys are thinking. What character could possibly make my number 1 spot? Well, before I get to that, let's do some honorable mentions. The T-1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. What's better than having one Terminator? Well, how about another one, but this time in a liquid metal form. Portrayed by Robert Patrick, the T-1000 is sent to not only kill John Connor and Sarah Connor, but also trying to let Judgment Day prevail. Plus, his liquid transformation does give people the creeps of who is who. Yeah, you could definitely tell, like, he knows how to... He uses his liquid form to, like, turn into different people, which is definitely one of the few reasons why this character is scary. But don't worry, folks, the T-800 stops the T-1000 dead in his liquid metal traps. Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Well, hello, Clarice. Or, good evening, Clarice. This former doctor turned cannibal has become one of the greatest icons throughout the entire generation of scary characters. Hannibal Lecter, being portrayed by Anthony Hopkins, who went on to win the Oscar for this film, brings the character to life in a sneaky and chilling way. And his liners are definitely some of the best that you can probably memorize. In fact, you can enjoy this film with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Imhotep from The Mummy. Once a former priest to the pharaoh Seti I, turned traitor after making out with the pharaoh's future wife, Ankh-Sunamun, Imhotep tries to revive Ankh-Sunamun but gets stopped by the Medjai and gets mummified alive, only for Imhotep to be revived by Evelyn. What also makes Imhotep so scary is how he tries to regenerate into his full human body through the use of CGI of a mummy corpse to a full-on human body like God. Especially how he sucks all the energy out of people when Imhotep tries to regenerate himself into his full form. Want more? Well, how about his mummy army towards the end of the film, especially that Sam store as well? Yep, freaking scary. The Green Goblin from Spider-Man. Another Spider-Man villain to mention. While the Green Goblin's costume does look silly at times, but for the most part, the character is definitely scary, especially the jump scare moments and his evil laugh. And you also got Willem Dafoe playing the role of the Green Goblin. Then you got a scary supervillain that'll definitely take on Spider-Man. Venom from Spider-Man 3 and Venom. Okay, last Spider-Man villain, I promise. Another who basically is another amazing and scary Spider-Man villain. Venom is one of those types of villains that jumps straight out of a horror film. The look alone defines it all, including its sinister voice, hungry for eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time. Yep, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, while he does look a little bit like Spider-Man, but scary. The Gremlins from Gremlins. Hey, can't have a scary character without mentioning these little creatures. Once they were called Mogwais turned Gremlins, and they will definitely, and those Mogwais will turn into Gremlins if you don't follow these 3 rules. 1. Don't put the Mogwai in sunlight. Number 2. Don't pour water on them. And number 3. Never ever feed them after midnight. And breaking those rules will turn the Mogwai into Gremlins, terrorizing the town, your home kitchen, or even a snowblower. Hey, while they're at it, why can they be airline pilots and have a nightmare at 20,000 feet? Well, that pretty much probably explains how the end of the 1980s went into PG-13 territory. Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Okay, I was going to single out the entire trio, but Winifred Sanderson takes the spot for the honorable mention. Why? Because you got Bette Midler playing the role of Winifred Sanderson. She brings in the charm and wickedness to the character when it comes to her evil plan of, you guess it, stealing the lives out of children in the film to make them look young. Well, the witches young. And did I forget to mention that Bette Midler actually sings this song, I Put a Spell on You, for the film? I'm pretty sure. Jack Torrance from The Shining. When you have Jack Nicholson playing the role of Jack Torrance from a Stephen King novel or adaptation, then you're in for a real scare. Jack Torrance comes to the Overlook Hotel to hunt down his wife Wendy and his son Danny. As he might mention this in this one scene, Jack breaks down the bathroom door with this one-liner, "Here's Johnny." FYI, that line was improvised. Beetlejuice. Better not say his name 3 times because he might be coming around to do some crazy and scary stuff. Long before Michael Keaton went on to play Batman with Tim Burton, Keaton went on to play the title character of Beetlejuice in an earlier Tim Burton film. Easily scary but funny at the same time and memorable, especially how his voice is spot on. Come on down, say it once, say it twice, 3 times charm. Just say my name 3 times. Come on, just say it. Come on, just say it 3 times. I wish I could, but I said his name twice. But I'm not gonna say his name 3 times. Sorry. Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. What character could possibly top the number 1 spot? Well, believe it or not, there is one character. And the number 1 scariest movie character is Sauron from The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Taking the top spot on this list is the Dark Lord Sauron, the evil lord and servant of Morgoth, who forged his own ring of power to control others, but was defeated, except for the ring. But now Sauron's back to summon the ring of power through his very own eye in the land of Mordor. Unlike the other characters on this list, Sauron doesn't really appear in full form, Well, granted, yeah, his full form did appear in the first Lord of the Rings film and the second Hobbit film, but it's definitely his eye. His eye definitely makes an appearance left and right. That really gets it's pretty scary. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's really scary. The eye alone is so scary. It's like he's like watching every single movement of Middle Earth. I mean, granted, I mean, once the characters, whether hobbits, men's, elves, dwarves, wizards, I mean, everything. And well, and it's just also his presence. The character's presence has been felt throughout the entire franchise of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, especially all over Middle Earth. And he's in the search for that Ring of Power. But don't worry, folks, Frodo Baggins was able to destroy the Ring of Power in the fires of Mount Doom, killing Sauron in the present. Yep. I mean, especially when Sauron has an army of orcs or ring wraiths on his side, or man, how about his entire army of Uruk-hais? That is definitely how scary a villain can be. Even though his presence is spelled out throughout the entire film, you could definitely tell there is definitely a gigantic army. But believe it or not, this is definitely the number one scary character for this. And there you have it, folks. That's my top 10 scariest movie characters, including some honorable mentions. What did you guys think? Did I miss out on any scary characters? Well, if you do, and if I do, feel free to comment on that. And yeah. And if you guys have your favorite scary characters, please let me know. And this will conclude Codo Cinema Horror Month. Thank you for tuning in to Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo. Remember to watch movies, stay positive, and in the words of Alfred Hitchcock, good night until next week. And happy Halloween.